Yeah, so like drug-wise, me and Callum will just keep it to the compounds that we know work. So for me, so usual place of pursuit of progression, doing a bit of posterior today. I'm going to take you through the session. Obviously, you guys who've been following along, you know I would have had a bit of a knee issue, but that seems to have cleared quite well. It's still not 100%. I'm going to go and have an MRI on it probably next week just to see what the actual damage is. Probably meniscus, but we won't really know until we go and have the scan. But today it's all kind of glute and hamstring based, so we'll work with back first, and then we'll go into glute and hamstring work. A lot of the hamstring work is still single leg. I will maybe potentially do a little bit of double, but the isolated hamstring work is still single leg, just to work on any imbalances and just to focus on one area at a time essentially. Because if I do double leg, the good leg's just going to take over. So we'll do a little bit of single leg seated hamstring curl at the end with an RDL, and then some biceps and some calves. But the initial back work will be done, starting with an upper back pull down, 3 sets of 8 to 12. Good warm up, a little bit of stretching between the warm up sets, which is going to be more of an emphasis now in my sessions because I was really bad and didn't stretch or didn't do any warm ups. So, well, any warm up stretching, should I say. So we do that a little bit more now. Feeling good. Last time you guys saw me was probably, apart from obviously the day in the life, I'm a little bit heavier than I was since that video, only by a few kilos. So yeah, but we're moving into now the first push phase of this off season, which is really, really exciting. So I'll go into that a little bit later on. But bloods were fine. Spent a little bit more time in the health phase just to get everything cleared and everything good to go. Like I said, bloods were good, green light with those. And now we're starting cycle started yesterday, so it should be good, just the standard primo and anabar. But again, I'll go into that in a bit. I'm sure Laz will ask me plenty of questions on those, and I'm sure I get plenty of questions off the back end of speaking about my cycle. But yeah, let's get into it. Like I said, first exercise, 3 sets of 8 to 12 on the upper back pull down. Also, a bloody amazing announcement is I'm now working with Gasp, so one of their athletes, which is super exciting. So I'll put my code in the link in the bio below, but it's SARA15, 15% off of your entire order, whether that's Better Bodies or Gasp. But Gasp, as we all know, are community based, and I'm someone that wants to drive community within the bodybuilding industry, and I couldn't think of anyone better to work with than Gasp. Obviously just did a guest post for them at the A1 Classic, which was up in Worksop, which is up north in the UK. A lot of fun, just getting loads of photos, loads of pictures, loads of videos, all that good stuff, and just basically having a really good day to celebrate the community within the bodybuilding industry here in the UK. But please go and support Gasp, go and support my code. If you want to support me, SARA15 will do that. They have an abundance of fucking good clothes, and you could look like me, you know, so who doesn't want to look like me? But yeah, SARA15, Better Bodies or Gasp. Go and have some, I'll go and have a look and go and buy some shit because it's comfortable as fuck, so treat yourself. Last week when I did this, I did 82 plus 1.25. And so the first set I did 10, then it was 9, then it was 8. So this on that one, I just did 12. So I'll try and get high reps on the others before moving up in weight. This is a discussion that I've had with quite a few of my clients. When do you progress weight? And I said to them, you know, I'll only progress the weight once I've reached the top end of that rep range. And that's something I've talked to you guys about loads, was when to progress, when to push the weight. Now, obviously, if you're feeling good, warm-ups are going well, push the weight, but try and get to the top of that rep range first before you move on. So like, again, if I can get 12, 11, 11 next week, I'll probably bump the weight because I've reached the top end of that rep range. I'm feeling good, so I'll bump the weight closer to obviously the next step. So reach the top end of that rep range, then progress the weight. If warm-ups and stuff are going well and you feel good, that's not me saying don't move the weight up, but get better at the execution, work the rep ranges, and then move up. One massive emphasis of this off-season for me, especially since blowing out my knee, is to execute perfectly. I'm in this for the long run. I don't want to be a twat on my training. I'm still going to train hard, obviously, as you guys will see. But at the end of the day, if I'm pushing weight and just not controlling it and not executing it as it should be executed, then I'm just going to get broken. And I'm not 20 anymore. And I'm not old. I'm 30 this year and that's not old. But I can't train like I used to when I was 18. And if you followed me for a long time, you would know exactly how I used to train, and it was fucking reckless. That's why I was injured all the time. So, and since coming over to Callum, he's actually taught me how to train properly, and I've grown the most. So that just, you know, what does that say? Execution over everything. Train fucking hard and execute perfectly, and you'll grow. Yeah, like anyone that's like, and I'll be honest, that post-show was like fucking grim. It was just horrible. Like, post-shows don't get easier. You just learn how to manage them better. But even that one, this one just gone, was just crazy. I think it's because that's the leanest I've ever been. It's a completely different package than I've ever brought, and it's probably the hardest I've pushed myself as well. And luckily, like, I've always been someone that can get into condition, but that was crazy. And obviously with all the support from you guys as well and things going crazy, like, it was a very different season for me from that respect. So it was tough, but when you go through post shows like that, they're very much character building. And it takes time. You know, I've only just started feeling like myself and started feeling like a human being and things like that. And it's like, I think a lot of people rush thinking that they're gonna feel like a human within a week or so. And I think I'm like, I can't even tell you, 8 weeks post-show maybe now, something like that. And I've only just started feeling like a human. So give yourself time during that post-show phase, because it does take time, mentally and physically, you know. And make sure you have the support of a good coach. And Callum has been brilliant. I probably pushed him to the earth and back, like, but he has just supported me beyond more than I could ever imagine from a coach. And I'm the same with my clients. Like, I will support them through the post-show period, because it's really tough. No matter how many times you've done one, they don't get easier. You can just manage them better. But equally, like the one I just had, caught me by surprise. So, and also it's my first post-show with Callum. So his approach to post-show is a little bit different from what Tom used to do. So even that was a new experience, because me and Callum have never actually started an off-season from a prep point. When I joined Callum, I was 8 weeks out, and that was obviously last year, or whenever it was, sometime. And so we never actually had me at a very, very lean point, whereas we have this time. So it's been very different, a lot to adapt to, lots of different things, but now I'm feeling much better. We're moving forward. The knee was a bit of a pain, but that's something that we just have to work around now, unfortunately. But that's not gonna stop me from growing some of the best legs on stage next year. So just gotta adapt, just gotta move things, just gotta do what we can to improve, grow, and keep moving forward, you know? I love this shit, so we're just gonna have to make it work one way or the other. So yeah, but I'm good, I'm feeling much better. And a lot of people I think will notice that, but yeah, it's good to feel a little bit more like myself now. Oh, this is a great piece of kit. Everyone is going mad for these in the UK because they're quite new. A lot of gyms haven't got the Mega Mass at the moment, but they're really nice because you've obviously got 3 different handles that you can potentially use. I use this one because I find this one, I just don't get a very good feel with it. Whereas we're still kind of trying to aim for like upper back here. Whereas I get a real good squeeze, or a real good feeling when my hands are slightly over. This one, I haven't really tried, to be honest. But this one I just didn't get on with. So we're gonna go with this like kind of like inner overhand position here, because it feels bloody brilliant. And if it feels good, do it anyway, because why would I do something that doesn't feel very good? A lot of people are like, oh, I'll just do it.
Doesn't feel very good, but I'll just do it anyway.
Don't do it. Do something that feels good. No, you know what? I don't think my food's changed much at all, actually. I think it's gone... So what's really cool is when I started with Callum, my starting point, so I was 168 pounds and my food was about 2,500 or something like that. And now obviously I'm 170, far better condition, and obviously my calories are 3,500, so 3,500, which I just find really, really cool, because it just shows like the development of a physique. Even when I was 168 pounds this year, my calories were at 3,300. So we only bumped my food last week because I actually went down, because when my knee got busted, I couldn't train really. So we had to obviously reduce my food because I wasn't training. So the need for the food wasn't there. And when I started being able to train again properly, that's when my food went back up. and it went a little bit higher than what it was previously. So I feel like now I'm at 3.5 and my non-train days at 3.3. So it has had little adjustments, but Callum's quite conservative with his food increases. He won't do like large increases at any point. He'll only ever do like little tiny increases here and there. So I can imagine my weight's kind of sitting around 170. Obviously now with the cycle going in, we'll have probably slightly more fluctuations as things start to saturate. And then we'll probably have a few bumps as training starts to increase. And obviously the demand for that food is much higher and stuff like that. And I know we've got a good idea of how we want to push things. So yeah, so I can imagine my food's probably going to go quite high. I'd quite like to reach the 4,000 mark as a little personal PB, because last time I got to 3.8 or just under 3.9. So yeah, I'd quite like to reach the 4,000 mark as a small personal PB, because I've never eaten that much food and I think it would be fun. And I'm willing to suffer, so great. So next up, strive low row, neutral hand position, real good stretch, real good drive back. I actually get along with this. Well, I get along with all my exercises really well, but this one is just so nice to follow on from the mega mass. Obviously you had that kind of like slightly rotated overhand position. Now this one's neutral, and then the next movement will go down. We'll go into a single arm, like iliac pull down with the hip, with the elbow really driving into the hip. But it's nice to have like a pull down, row pull down. I find that it just keeps things moving, feels good, it works well. And obviously after this pull down, we'll go into some leg work. But yeah, this is a good bit of kit, feels good. And like I said, that's what matters, you know? And yeah, feeling good. So let's just keep going. Oh, heavy bitch. Oh. Now onto a little pull down variation. Fuck yeah. 2 reps up on that, I'll take that. Did you see that they're looking at bringing heights and weights into women's physique? Yeah, Tyler released a video the other day about figure, and that the figure girls are coming in too harsh, like they're too conditioned. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think weights and heights for women's physique is a good idea? I think it is, to be fair. It's becoming so blurred. People like me and Paula are like bouncing between and then being used as guinea pigs to see actually what women's physique should look like. Which I don't mind. Like if I need to be that person, then fine. But I think weights and heights are gonna eliminate that blurred line, I think. So I think it's a good idea. Don't get me wrong, it has its pros and cons. Like I think with like what you see in other categories with like the guys doing silly stuff to get under the weight cap, that is obviously a risk. Like, are people willing to do more dangerous stuff to get under a cap? Potentially. It's a risk that you could run, but also again, I think the bigger picture will stop these lines from being so blurred. So I think it's a good idea. I feel, maybe. So onto the hamstring portion of the session, hamstring glute portion of the session. Sit hamstring curl, single leg, because again, with everything that happened with the knee, we're just kind of, it's probably like my 3rd or 4th week loading the knee, because loading was just not a thing. Because like deep flexion, terminal extension was nigh on impossible. So I just stayed away from them. I just didn't train legs for a bit. And we started loading, easing myself back into things, just making sure that, again, I execute things properly, because again, if I started throwing things around, the problem would just reoccur. And obviously we don't want that to happen. So we started introducing loading single leg, just because if I did double leg, then the knee that wasn't injured would just take over. So if we can isolate each leg and work on the discrepancy between each leg, because the worst thing you want is an imbalance. So if we go back to compound work, then again, the good leg is just going to take all of the load, which then opens that leg up to injury. And then you just end up injuring both legs, which is not useful. So we'll obviously warm up, take a little bit more time warming up. It's also a confidence thing. Like, I don't want to go into a movement and have my leg blow again. So yeah, and even with RDLs, which we'll go through in a moment, like, I take much more time loading and working up to my working weight because I just don't want to tear anything. I'm in this for long run and I don't want to end up being injured all the time, because then it pushes being back on stage further and further away. You then start worrying whether you're going to make improvements, and then it just becomes a big mind fuck. So 2 sets on here. We still have a heavy set on here actually. So we do 1 lot of 6 to 9, and then we'll do 1 lot of 10 to 14. We've kind of moved into now reaching that failure point. So we were doing like 1 to 2 reps in reserve, whereas now we can kind of reach that failure point, but doing it smarter instead of just lugging it around. So that's the plan of action for this. So 1 to 6 to 9, and we'll be good to go. I've been having regular physio with someone I used to work with. His name's called James Stevenson. He's part of the Prime Practice, which is based in Gloucester. So if you're ever around the Southwest and need physio, go and see James. And he's given me physio, and he's the guy that will refer me for the MRI. Like I said earlier on in the video, we reckon it could be meniscus, because one sure way of finding out whether it is a meniscal injury is like clicking, locking, catching, that kind of thing. I'm getting quite a lot of clicking and instability. If you think your meniscus, like, it sits between 2 bones and basically holds that stability there. If your meniscus is torn in any way, then those don't come together. You're a little bit unstable. So that's why we think it could be meniscus, and where the pain is presenting is around the region that could be meniscal. So obviously with meniscus, there's different types of tears, like a bucket handle, there's like a linear tear, all of these things, and some are obviously worse than others, and I'm kind of hoping it's just a linear tear, because that's just something that you can just manage. Where if it's like a bucket handle, that means there's more of a flap of the meniscus in there, which needs keyhole surgery, which would be a bit more of a pain. But if it's just linear, you just conservatively manage it with rehab and stuff. And I've been treating it with like peptides, BBC 157, and that's been fine. Getting back into stretching, mobility work, and I'm also doing some rehab, like single leg, like jumping, bounding, hopping, that kind of thing. Because as bodybuilders, we're very linear. We don't have any multi-directional movements. So that's where I'm unstable, is like multi-directional movements. So like bounding, leaping, hopping, that kind of thing. So that's what I've been doing a lot of work on, is just being more athletic, I suppose. We're strong from here to here. We're just not strong anywhere else. So yeah, so he's been brilliant. I used to work with James when I was a sports therapist. I used to obviously do lots of rugby work and medical sport for that. And he was my boss then, and he was brilliant. He supported me all the way through university. So he's very good. He's worked with World's Strongest Man. He used to be part of I think he was involved with like the skeleton team for the Winter Olympics, which was quite cool. He did all their physio. So yeah, he's brilliant. He is very, very good. So if you're ever in the area, Gloucester, Quedgeley region, hit him up, because he's good. But yeah, if I need keyhole surgery, then I'll have it done. But it's still kind of swelling from time to time, which indicates that something else a little bit is going on still. So yeah, and we're icing, compressing, elevating, anti-inflams, the lot. So something might still be going on. But we can assess that as we go, get an MRI, see where we're at, and then we just either conservatively manage it or plan a surgery. So we'll just see. But we just do what we can for the time being and control what we can control. There's no point getting stressed over it. It really pissed me off in the beginning, but I can still train legs, I can still do things, I've just got to move things around. So there's no point getting stressed over it. Still move forward, we're still training legs, we're still able to train in general. Like some people that have like an ankle injury, that I can't train, go and train upper. Like you can still train. So it's about perspective. Like I can still train, I'm still here, and I'm still loving it. So we just move things around and we adapt as we go. It's 8 to 10 on these ones, so pushing the boat out. So just one set of these. Like I said, I'll warm quite a lot into these, just because one, I just like to do that. And the top set, yeah, I could probably go way heavier, but then my form would break down and I'd just snap my shit up. And with this leg being a little bit unstable, I don't want to keep saying unstable. Fucking retard, bro. We've just got to be a little bit more aware of it. So I'll just warm up as we go, but 1 set of 8 to 10, that's kind of like, that hasn't changed. Callum, he might potentially put another set in, but we'll just see. But it's just been all out one set of 8 to 10. This is supposed to really be done on a belt squat. I haven't done barbell RDLs in ages, but I bought a belt squat, so that should be coming in the next kind of like few days. So then I'll move over to a belt squat RDL, because they're just a little bit better in my opinion. But for now, we'll just work with the barbell. So yeah, 1 set of 8 to 10, and just see how it goes. And it's like, so many people be like, just fucking constantly just like push, right? And I think, oh, if I, like, for example, when my knee went, it was literally just squatting down, picking something up under the sink. If I hadn't just squatted down, it wouldn't have happened. And it's the same with, if I just go into that working set straight away and something goes, touch wood, what if I just done another warm up, it wouldn't have happened. So some people are like, oh, well, solo train's like a pussy now. Just a little bit smarter. So do what works for you and whatever you're comfortable with doing. Did 36.25 last week, 37.5 this week for the same reps. Better probably execution as well this week, which is good. So yeah, happy with those. Like I said, I could probably do 2 and a bit plates on those, but it's just not worth the risk. I'll get there, it'll just take some time. And with now androgens going in, strength going up, as those androgens saturate, you know, things will get very strong very quickly. And a lot of people don't realize is muscles will grow much quicker than connective tissue, ligaments, tendons, because muscles have a rich blood supply, right? They recover better, they get stronger quicker. Connective tissues like ligaments, tendons have a really poor blood supply, so the recovery is shit, their adaptation is crap. And the bigger we get, the more strain that's pushed through those connective tissues. And we just need to take that into account. So you just need to adapt according to how you're feeling in that session. And with primo and things like that, I get very strong very quickly. And I'm not willing to risk tearing something just to get a couple more kilos on a bar. And that's the biggest shift in my mindset since moving to Callum. Just be smart about things, execute, be smart, get a job done, go home, eat and rest. So really happy with those. And I'll be up to 2.5, 3 plates in no time. But with perfect form, and that's what it's about. So I'm happy with those. I've got to be like the only person on this earth that hates training arms. I hate training arms. Oh, I hate it. Yeah, I hate it. I used to, when I was younger, I used to do like the typical like, do chest and arms all the fucking time, and shoulders. I train shoulders all the time because I wanted shoulders like DLB. So I just lat raise the fuck out of all my sessions. But yeah, I used to like do loads of chest and arm work, and then I used to bench press all the time as well. I think that's why I'm such a good presser, because I just bench pressed all the fucking time. But now, couldn't give a shit about arms. Yeah, so like drug wise, me and Callum will just keep it to the compounds that we know work. So for me, it's always been a cycle of Primo and Anabar. We've never done anything more than that. Obviously, I have fem tests in the background all year round, so I run 4.5 milligrams of that a week. But when we go on cycle, like when we start pushing up, we'll utilize Primo and Anabar, and that's it. We've never, even during prep, we never used Winstrol, we never used anything like that. Like we literally just used Primo and Anabar. And I know people won't believe it, but we didn't use any diuretics either. If you believe it, thanks. If you don't, then you can fuck off. But that's what happens when you have a good peak, when you have a coach that knows what they're fucking doing, so you don't need to use diuretics. We didn't even really manipulate water or salt either. We just cruised in. But right now in this push phase, we'll start with, so literally just started as of yesterday, 10 milligrams of Anavar a day, and then it will be 180 mgs of Primo per week with the 4.5 milligrams of Femtest in the background. And I actually don't really know what he's going to do. I don't know whether we're going to have to go above the 200 mark. Primo wise, now we're moving up. Sometimes more is not better. My cycle lengths are relatively long. I'd say anywhere between 10 and 12 weeks. This one I believe is a 12 weeker, which is quite long for females. It's not, it is, yes, the dosage is something that needs to be taken into account, but it's also the exposure length or how long you're exposed to that anabolic. And 12 weeks for a female is long, but due to what I need to do to get to where I wanna, I'm happy to do that. I think a lot of people and people who go and comment on my videos talk about like, oh, does she know the risks? Of course I know the fucking risks of steroids. Like any women's bodybuilder or women's physique competitor or anyone at that level knows fucking risks of steroids. I'm kind of someone that like, I know the risks, I'm willing to deal with the risks. I have, you know, my blood's done very, very often, so internally I'm good. Like for me, I've always been a tomboy. So like if my voice gets deeper, I don't really give a fuck. If I get a little bit more hairier, I don't give a fuck. Like, so if you come to my video and say, oh my God, she looks so mad, I don't actually really fucking care. So like with me, my exposure length, for me, I don't really mind is 10 to 12 weeks. We'll get bloods done. As long as internally I'm good to go, then that's fine. But in regards to the trajectory of where my drugs will go, I don't really know, but I don't think they'll really go much higher than what they are now. Might move up to 200 Primo per week. But again, if we, like I said, more is not necessarily better. It's just about repeating what we're doing and doing the same stuff over and over again consistently for the time that I'm in my off season, and then just turn it back up in for prep. Like, so for people that think there's some magic fucking pill, there isn't. I don't use excessive amounts. I think a lot of people still won't believe me, but you know, if you believe me, then that's good, but that's what I do. Don't obviously copy it because it's designed for me and my goals and my, like, what I want to achieve. Because a lot of people be like, oh, I'll just run 108 mgs of Primo. And they're a fucking NPC bikini competitor, which, don't get me wrong, some probably are doing, but but like, if you're literally like just a first timer bikini competitor, I think, oh, Sarah Bradley runs 108 mgs of Primo, I must do that. You're fucking stupid. That stack is designed for me and my goals. Whereas some other individual would be very different, or you'd hope so anyway. But right now we're just moving into the growth phase. I've also added into IU growth hormone. I've run up to 4 before, which I can imagine will start pushing as we move through this growth phase. I do suffer with really bad carpal tunnel though when I push my growth. So that's something that we have to manage. But I do want to push my growth hormone a little bit higher this year. So we will just see. We'll just see how things go. But 2 compounds I get on really well with. We just run them for 10 to 12 weeks and move around as we see fit. But that's the game plan. And like I said, if you come to my video and comment, she looks like a bloke, I don't fucking care. Done. So that's posterior done and dusted. Really happy with how that session went. Very productive, ticked the boxes. Knees feeling really good today, which is positive. I'll spend tomorrow's my rest day. So I'll spend tomorrow doing my rehab, doing some mobility, and I'll also go and have a nice bath and sauna because that is a regular thing that I'm doing now. Because it's just, one, it's nice to switch off, and two, with my knee still swelling, it's good to get a little bit of contrast therapy in there. So obviously the ice is a vasoconstrictor, the warmth is a vasodilator. So essentially it acts as like a pump, helps getting rid of swelling and just basically flushes all that good fresh blood into the area to promote recovery and healing and things like that. So that was what I'll do tomorrow, and just keep moving through these sessions, to be honest, guys. Like, there's nothing new, there's nothing crazy, there's no secret pill. Like, it's just the same shit day in and day out. A little bit more food here, drugs are now in, a little bit more volume there. Just a few more sort of massages here and there as well, and then that's that. Like, there's no secret equation that everyone seems to think there is. So yeah, but I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Obviously, we're still kind of working through the series of women's physique versus women's bodybuilding. So I hope you're enjoying the series. Like I said in the beginning of the video, please go and support my code SAR15 with Gasp. Yet to get a supplement sponsor. So any supplement sponsors out there that want to come on board, you know where I am. But yeah, please support Gasp, because honestly, they are an amazing brand, and I am honored to be a part of that brand because of the values that they hold within the bodybuilding community are very, very similar to my own. Just building the community, being positive about bodybuilding, and driving just progression with everyone that wants to make that progression. So very exciting times. So SAR15, we'll link it below. That's for Better Bodies and Gasp. And again, let us know what you want to see. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one.